Hello, everybody. Welcome back to another episode of Cape Time, and we are here to discuss Falcon and the Winter Soldier episodes 2 and 3. We missed last week's episode. I'm sorry about that, but we are back and we have a lot to discuss. Tom, how are you doing?
I'm well. Missed that last episode. That pissed me off a little bit. Gonna be honest. Not. I'm just kidding. But yeah, these last two episodes have certainly been something. I'm gonna actually try something new today. By the way, I'm going to keep the synopsis is. I guess you could say I don't know what the plural is in front of me. So in case we lose track a little bit, because these episodes came, well, episode 3 was 2 days ago, a day ago, and then episode 2 was a week ago. So I'm just gonna keep those two in front of me,
All right.
just in case we lose track. I'm smart sometimes.
Sometimes, on occasion.
It's been known to happen. Not that
All right.
much though.
Well, let's start it off, Tom.
You know. So, oh shit, I was on episode 1 for a sec. All right, now we're good. So, episode 2. We're gonna start with episode 2 here. Okay. John Walker, the new Captain America, or the asshole Captain America, as some people like to say. I guess you can say. He goes on like Good Morning America, and that was like really cool. Like he's getting introduced as the new Captain America to the world, but it's like, that guy's not Captain America. And then,
Yeah.
and Sam specifically gave that shield back. So
I gotta
no,
say, I love the opening to that episode. Like, it was so well done. I mean, because right off the bat, they're giving John Walker an actual character. He's not just this Captain America that you should hate because he's not Steve. Like, he's a real character, and so far I am so into the character of John Walker. Like, I'm genuinely excited to see much more of him in the next episode when we get to that.
I'm gonna be honest. I got before the show came out, I got John Walker confused with the villain from I believe it was in Jessica Jones.
Just I only saw season 1, so
Alright, there's like this villain who like it's a little bit similar. I can't really describe it now, but that's because I'm stupid. But I thought basically what I'm saying is I thought John Walker was a supervillain, but as I've read up on him, he's actually not really supervillain.
no,
Uh,
he's a good guy. He's not Steve at all. And when I say, and I don't mean that as in quite literally, no, he's not Steve. No one can replace Steve. I mean it as in his set of morals and ideas is quite different, despite him having good intentions at heart. Because I can tell he's a good guy and he thinks he's doing the right thing, but he has his problems and they're clear. Because Steve had wanted nothing to do with the government. John Walker is the government.
yeah, John Walker is like John Walker was hired by the government to be
I
Captain
mean,
America.
everything. He's a manufactured product, and that's the whole thing about him. Like, even in
Like,
the car ride later in the episode, when Bucky's like, "Oh, you ever jumped on a grenade before?" He's like, "Oh yeah, 4 times. I have this thing on my helmet, so it's part of training or whatever." But no, that's the difference. Is Steve put his life on the line, thinking he would die. He does it as a drill. Again, he's a manufactured Captain America. He's not the real thing.
also, he was hired. Steve Rogers was hired to do the super soldier experiment by a scientist. That I believe he was German. The
Yes,
German scientist in the first Avenger. John Walker was hired by the government, by the suits that took the shield back from Sam,
I will
basically.
say it's admirable that he doesn't have the super soldier serum and he's like as strong as he is and as good as he is at
Yeah,
what he does. Like, I'll give
he's
him that for sure. I mean,
he's
he's
basically
very,
like a top
yeah.
tier athlete.
Oh, totally. And I mean, it does raise the question, like, because some people have been wondering, is there any chance that he does have some type of performance enhancers, whether it's some type of serum or anything to make him
Dude's
stronger?
roiding up.
I mean, I don't know. Maybe he does have something. I'm not sure. I don't think it's a super soldier serum because he got his ass kicked by the flag smashers during the episode. So seemingly it's not. I don't think it's that personally, but you never know. I mean, we'll have to see.
Yeah, and then looking at this interview on Good Morning America,
Oh yeah.
Bucky's looking, Sam's looking, and then this is where Bucky and Sam reunite. I thought this scene, the reuniting scene, would be a little bit more dramatic, but it was not. They just said, "What's up?" It's like, all right, cool,
It's just a
cool.
dude. What the fuck?
I mean, they have each other's phone numbers, So
Yeah, of course.
as we explicitly saw in episode 1, they do have each other's phone numbers. So
He just ignores him.
yeah, Bucky was just ignoring him, but Bucky probably didn't ignore the next phone call after seeing the Good Morning America interview.
Yeah.
So that's where their relationship is at, having being in their contacts list. But so they decide to go to Munich, where the Flag Smashers and their leader are stealing a shipment of medicine. And like what's interesting, I have to say, I have a point about the Flag Smashers, is you would think that they are like supposed to be bad guys, really, but they're not really bad guys. They're just like
No,
kind of
they're
like
not.
these
They're not.
Robin Hood, and that. But you can also see where U.S. Agent is very much against them, because they're taking government supplies. I guess.
I mean, I think by the end of the show, we're gonna see that John Walker is the main villain. Like, I think that's
Yeah.
where it's heading for sure.
Or
I mean,
he's on like the wrong side.
yeah, because like the Flag Smashers, they even so far. I mean, even Walker, of course. I mean, all the people we've seen so far that are the quote unquote villains, whether it's the Flag Smashers or Zemo or John Walker, they've all been humanized. It's all been clear that they aren't totally evil people. I mean, like they're human
The
beings that
Flag
have their
Smashers
own.
are like more like Robin Hood
Yeah,
kind of
they're like
esque.
Robin Hood.
Take
Like
from
they
the
just
poor, take from the
yeah,
rich, give to the poor.
they just don't follow the rules, and they have different sets of ideals, obviously.
Yeah, and we all know the U.S. government does not like that.
Of course, and that's where you have this big conflict. And John Walker's character, I'm very interested to see how he comes into play, because I mean, you got to keep in mind, even at the end of episode 3, from 4 rather, which we just saw. Hey, no, we're on 3, right?
Yes,
Yeah,
we're
we're
on
on
3.
3.
We're on 3.
Yes, at the end of episode 3, he basically said, fuck the government. We're doing what we want. We're gonna do our own little mission. I was like, oh wow,
Yeah,
all
yeah, and
right,
also
government boy doing his own thing.
in that the conversation that towards the end of the episode with Bucky, Sam, John Walker, there was a line about like I sent you the line. It was like, that's usually said by the people with the supplies. Like when John Walker's like, they were stealing our supplies and they're wrong for that. Something like that.
Uh-huh.
It's like, it seems like Sam's more on the side of the Flag Smashers, which is very interesting,
Yeah.
considering Sam is in the military too. So,
Yes, but I would say that Sam has also been failed by his country now, so he kind of
oh yeah,
gets the other side of it now, like more
yeah.
so than ever. So I
Well,
think when eventually he does interact with the Flag Smashers in more of a, not a fighting way, more in a talking way, I think it's going to be very interesting to
oh
see what
yeah,
they discuss and talk about. I'm looking forward to those interactions very soon.
and yeah. The How this plot unravels is very, very interesting.
Yeah, because I remember at one point you were worried that there might be too many villains and plot threads, but the thing
No,
is now
they're all
they're really,
interwoven.
yeah, they're like all so intertwined, and also again, they clearly aren't all villains, which is what we kind of thought going into the series. Like, oh, Zemo's gonna be a big villain in this, and the Flag Smashers are a big villain, and John Walker, how is he gonna fit in? But no, it's really Zemo's helping right now. The Flag Smashers are kind of more of a Robin Hood thing, like you said, and John Walker is kind of TBD. But again, I see him becoming the villain, so it's very connected, but it works in such a good way.
Here's the thing. John Walker will be not a villain, but a antagonist, I guess you
Definitely an
could say.
antagonist, I think. Yes.
But who will eventually learn his lesson, you would hope, and become more of a protagonist. So he's a
I
very
don't.
interesting
I'm gonna
character
be
because
honest. I don't think he learned his lesson.
Very interesting. We have 3 more episodes to figure out
Yeah.
where John Walker goes. You can tell he's a good dude.
No, I know
So
he is.
it's
I
very
really do.
interesting. It's very interesting to see, exactly where he ends up at the end of this episode. And by the way, since we're on John Walker, please stop sending Wyatt Russell death threats. Thank you.
Wow.
That'd be not you. I'm talking about
Yeah, I
the
know.
public because this has gotten ridiculous. I mean, he's playing a character.
I didn't even know that was a thing.
Yeah, people are giving him death threats. They bullied him off of social media. It was ridiculous. So stop doing that because they don't like the new Cap. It's like he's not the new Cap. Number
That's
one. Number two, he's playing a character. Number 3, the story isn't even over yet. So shush, shush, shush. None of those reasons are reasons to give someone death threats. So stop it. Thank you.
Anyway. So
All
now
right.
we're at the warehouse where they find the Flag Smashers and they get into that entire interaction with them, and it was fucking awesome, dude. That whole fight scene was so fun. So fun. I
Oh, the
mean,
one on the road?
yes, that was so
Yes,
fun.
yes,
And
yes,
then
yes.
when John Walker comes in, I got so mad when they played like that little version of Cap's theme when he came in. I was like,
I was
no!
like,
Like him coming in was like at first it was cool, but as soon as they played Cap's theme, I was like, no, don't
it's like
do that.
he's not. He may be Cap in that universe, but he's not Cap in our universe.
Yeah, like don't
They're
do
all,
that to me. I
yes.
can't do that.
It's like motherfucker. It's like, oh no. It's and what's very interesting is that all the Flag Smashers are super soldiers, so they are physical equals to Sam, Bucky, and especially John Walker, because John Walker, as far as we know, is not a super soldier. So
Yeah,
I am not a super soldier either. Sources say.
sort.
But yeah. And what's funny when Bucky gets into the back of the truck and he's like, "Hi," and then he just gets kicked right out of there.
Oh yeah, because he thinks that she's a hostage. He's like,
Yeah.
oh hey, I'm here to save you. And then she just starts smiling, and he's like, oh shit.
I mean that's the I love those little moments in Marvel movies that it's just like, oh, you could tell that the girl is just about to kick him. You could tell.
Oh yeah.
Tell it was coming. Now it's just waiting for
Dude, the dynamic between Falcon and Bucky is the best thing I've ever seen in my life. They're so funny.
I
They
read
are
The
so
Hobbit
funny. Yeah, I
in
read that in 1937.
1930. Yeah,
Yeah,
when it
so
came
funny.
out. It's just like, well, who reads a book when it first comes out? But okay.
He's coming to say, Bucky, that little girl kicked your ass. Oh,
Yes.
funny.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, there's this moment in episode 3 where it was a callback to the "Can you move your seat up?"
Yes.
Yes. But we'll get into episode 3 soon because
Yes, we will.
that episode is my favorite just because of Zemo. That episode. We'll get into Zemo.
Yes.
But yeah. So boom, boom, boom. They get their asses kicked. John Walker gets his asses kicked. Then we get a conversation with Walker and Bucky and Sam, where initially Walker wants to work with Barnes and Sam, and they're not very receptive to that. I think they miss Steve. I think they resent John Walker because he represents the government screwing them over and giving the shield back to someone when they specifically asked them not to. And John Walker obviously just did what he was told. He's not wrong for taking up the mantle of Captain America. But in Sam's eyes and Bucky's eyes, they are looking at a clone of their best friend, a non-exact clone. It's like the ugly. It's like remember the meme where it's like Walmart versus Chanel.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is the Walmart version of
It's like when
Steve.
your mom is like, oh, we got Captain America at home, and then this is Captain America at home.
Yeah, it's like Walmart Steve. It's like, oh my god, yeah, I can see why they resent him a little bit because he does actually like have a similar vibe to Steve. The height, the hair. There's like a similar.
Oh, of course.
Yeah, so it's like shit. and that's like, oh, I could see it. And so they don't want to work together. They hop out. They hop out of the van. That conversation didn't go well. You could tell which side each was on. Really, they were like Sam and Bucky are more like individual agents that working together, I guess you could say, while Walker and his partner are part of the government. They're part of they know what side they're on. So yada yada yada. They go to Baltimore, and this is one of the most impactful scenes you'll find in Marvel. Yeah, they go to Baltimore, and Bucky introduces Sam Wilson to Isaiah Bradley, who was Captain America in the 50s, if I remember.
Yes, correct.
So, as for those who don't know, Isaiah Bradley he really is like the second Captain America. Really, he is he was a super soldier. They continued the super soldier projects even after Steve, obviously as we know. And Isaiah was a super soldier who fought in the Korean War, and he was a hero, but the government threw him in jail for what was the exact reason? Impersonating Cap, something like that.
I don't remember the exact reason, but it
Yeah,
was
the
bullshit.
government threw him in jail for a bullshit reason. He feels screwed over by the
It's
government. He
probably
hides.
just because they wanted to do experiments on him, because they
Yeah,
did obviously, but
he hid away. Yeah, he hid away he's hiding away in this house in Baltimore, and it's just a very impactful scene. You see that there was almost a black Captain America. What, about 60 years before? 60 years before Sam. And it's like, and Sam never knew about this guy. And you can see the anger and the sadness that Sam could have had. You could tell. Here's the thing. He could have had a hero to look up to, Like, that could have been one of his heroes, and it was basically taken away by the government. And it's incredibly impactful. And, it definitely has some real life parallels. You know that the government probably has really hurt a lot of heroes, specifically minority heroes, over the years. So it's just a very impactful scene. It was very well done. And moving to the next scene. Oh, do you want to say anything about that scene, by the way?
no, I think you pretty much summed that all up. I mean, I was super into it, honestly. It was very emotional, and I was watching that episode with my friends. Same thing with the episode 3, and that scene just hit us all hard, man.
Yeah.
That was pretty impactful.
Uh, Carl Lumbly is the person who plays Isaiah Bradley, and he did a tremendous job. And also, Anthony Mackie did a
We got
tremendous
Eli
job.
Bradley there, which is pretty exciting.
Yes, Eli Bradley. I'm still learning about these characters. I'm still learning about Eli Bradley, but he is
He will
Patriot.
definitely be a member of the Young Avengers, and I would say that honestly, don't be shocked if he gets a moment by the end of this series.
That'd be pretty dope. I'm very, very excited to learn
'Cause,
about.
yeah.
I'm just excited to learn about new characters that I don't generally like read
Oh,
or
me too.
watch. Like,
And they're
I'm used to like the Spider-Mans, the Batmans, the Robins, yada yada yada. Those well-known characters, but like it's nice to kind of learn about these kind of side characters that haven't really gotten their due on the A list yet. I think that was like the magic of Guardians of the Galaxy. Is like I had no idea who they were. I'm like, who are these guys? My dad takes me to see it. I'm like, oh my god, this movie is one of my favorite movies.
Yeah, I mean, I totally agree, man. And the whole Young Avengers as a whole, I don't know much about any of those characters off the top of my head. Like, I mean, I know them, but I don't know the core of who they are really. Whether it's She-Hulk, or obviously when we get, I know nothing about what is it, Young Iron Patriot, I think, or is it something else?
Yes, it's
Iron
Ironheart.
Ironheart, and then what's the Patriot one that for Eli Bradley? It's
That's his name, Patriot.
oh, just Patriot.
Yeah.
Okay, well, Patriot, I know nothing about. And all these characters are very interesting, and I'm curious to see where they go with them because they're speed running the Young Avengers right now. Like, they're gonna come in sooner rather than later. And if I had to guess, based on everything we know, it sounds like they could be in
Mhm.
Ant-Man 3, and that's at the end of 2022 potentially. So it's coming sooner rather than later. So be ready for that.
I'm very excited about that.
And of
You
course,
know,
Tommy and Wiccan will have too, assuming that they come back.
yeah, that's gonna be something. It's like they're trapped in like an alternate. We'll get into that. We'll get into that soon enough. You know, so here's. Oh, I actually have the reason for why. Bradley refuses to help them uncover information about additional super soldiers due to being imprisoned and experimented on by the government, like you said, Luke, and Hydra for 30 years. So that dude has been through the ringer, my
I've been through
friend.
shit.
So, my God, Barnes is arrested for missing a therapy appointment, which is funny as hell. And then you get that great scene where you really, you would think that scene between the therapist, Sam and Bucky, would be just for comedic relief, right? But really, towards the end of that conversation, you really see why they don't really get along at this particular point in time. You really get their motivations, you really get, their pain, and I think that is I think that scene really sets up the rest of the series if you think about it.
Yeah.
You really just get a good feel, and Bucky really doesn't like that. You know, uh, Bucky hates that Sam gave the shield back because in Bucky's words, if he was wrong about Sam, he was wrong about me. And Sam is almost like an extension of Steve to Bucky in a way, where now Bucky kind of needs to be led a little bit. Bucky's not someone who really functions at his best when he's at the forefront or as an individual, like where he's alone. You see, he made friends with an old guy just to, go get dinner and to have a buddy. Bucky needs a buddy, and
Yeah.
so it's just and hey, that's perfectly normal. I think everyone needs a buddy every once in a while, but so really that's I don't remember the full details of the conversation, but that was the main gist. Is like I forgot exactly why Sam didn't want to take up the shield. I think he said, "Can you fill me in?"
Well, when they was talking about not taking up the shield, he didn't even really. Well, not in that conversation, he didn't talk about it as much as to why. But in the past, he's always said it just he didn't think it belonged to
Yeah,
him, and that
yeah,
was always the thing. And he
yeah,
and he told Bucky during that conversation with the therapist, can't I know you and Steve are never gonna get this, but you need to respect that this is my decision and I'm content with it. And then Bucky's obviously upset, saying that he was wrong about him, and if he was wrong about you, then Steve might have been wrong about me. And it's clear that
exactly.
the issues are about Bucky being self-conscious about himself and who he was, rather than him being upset at Sam. I would say it's more of a him issue than a Sam issue.
Yeah, I think Steve's dead. Gotta be honest.
I think he is. It was just again, I'm a little bugged out by the way they left it open ended though, so I'm not as sure now. Like you could have just said it's a funeral, he's gone, but they didn't. And to me that's kind of intentional. So I don't think he's dead necessarily, but I don't know.
So weird, so weird. But yeah, I mean, you really get their motivations in that scene, and then they decide to work together. They once again refuse to work with John Walker, who shows up at the little airport, I guess it was. And yeah, they're like, yeah, we're not working with you, buddy. So go fuck yourself. And so they walk away. And Bucky, this is where we leave this episode. Bucky suggests to Wilson that they visit Zemo. Dun,
And that,
dun, dun. And the best episode of
yeah,
The Falcon and the Winter Soldier is born. And now, first of all, Luke, how did you feel about episode 2 overall?
I thought it was really good. I mean, episode
Yeah,
2 was freaking sick. I mean, I had no problems with it personally.
yeah, that episode Wow, I got a yawn there. Wow. That episode really hit the spot. That really set everything up, really set everything into motion. I was a little concerned that there was too much going on after these first two episodes, but I feel like episode 3 really put everything in perspective. And I think this is a fully functioning plot, and I love it. I love the chemistry between all the actors. The action's awesome. It's funny. It's just a really cool show, and it really raises some very intriguing questions. So very, very cool. And now we can lead into episode 3, which I have
Yeah.
very, very fond memories of now. Uh, Unbeknownst to Sam Wilson, start this episode, Bucky breaks Zemo out of prison in a very funny scene where Zemo, and where you can just see like how powerful Zemo is. Just like he is a master of escaping, he's a master of combat. He's a master of disguise. He's a little like Batman, if you think about it, like kind of an evil Batman because he's rich, he's like royalty, right? And he's hand to hand expert, but he's not. Batman was never a soldier, but Batman never had Batman did have his family killed, but we won't get into that. But moving on. They're out. Zemo's out, and they travel to Madripoor, which is a very well-known X-Men location. And Luke, I believe
Yeah.
you know this, but I'm gonna repeat this. They were not allowed to use Madripoor before
Yep.
the
You're right.
Fox acquisition. So this is very interesting.
Yes,
So
Madripoor was indeed off limits for a while.
so Madripoor is almost like one of the first things they've used since acquired, if not the first thing
I
they've.
think the first thing they technically used was Sword, if I remember correctly. I don't think Sword was allowed to be used at first, but that Madripoor is probably second.
Mm, can you know what I'm looking forward to?
What?
The first time we hear the word mutant,
Oh yeah, that's gonna make me go
I'm
nuts.
gonna be like, it's gonna be like, if it comes out of nowhere, it's gonna be like, it's like, oh my god, they're doing it, and we all know they're doing it, but like,
It's just a
that's
matter of
just,
when, really. But
yeah, it's like, oh my god, yes, I'm just ready for the X-Men, man. So they go to Madripoor and they dress Sam up in like this. You would think it's ridiculous, but it's actually a pretty dope outfit. He pulls it off. So they all dress up, and like Zemo takes the mask with them before they go. So Zemo's got his mask, and which is very cool. That purple mask is pretty dope. Uh, and they go into Madripoor. They go into like this little club. Uh, Filled with bad guys, like filled with them. They're all bad people in there, pretty much.
oh, just gotta say quick, the whole
Oh,
look of Madripoor was freaking awesome. Just
very
like the whole,
cool.
like all the shots they had, the whole vibe they set up, because it didn't feel like it was just any other big city. Like it was clearly unique and a whole different vibe, and I loved it because that's what I want to see more of with Marvel, just creating different aesthetics for different places and really creating a different vibe. And they did that with Madripoor, so props to them on that. I loved it.
You know, this is DC, but I actually would love to see something similar with Batman and Superman, with like Metropolis and Gotham City, where they all look like their comic book uh,
Yeah,
designs and shit. Where it's like art, Batman, like Gotham City is like this big gothic, huge buildings that like are just almost like larger than life, and it's rainy all the time, lightning strikes, yada yada yada, and I feel like that's been captured pretty well occasionally, but
yeah.
like just not consistently, and like Metropolis has basically been like New York City, and but like, and basically in the comics it is, but like I would just like I would make Metropolis larger than life if I were to design Metropolis for a movie. I don't want to get into this now. I'm sorry. Moving on. Moving on. Uh, the Madripoor, they get Bucky loses his cool at the bar, beats the shit out of some people. Uh, And, they go. She reveals. Wait, who's she? What the fuck? What the fuck am I reading? Yeah, whatever.
No, she's the person who's in charge of magic.
Yes. Yes, I'm
Originally they
sorry.
said king, but it's a girl, so I think it was queen. I don't know. It was weird.
Yes. Yes. Her name is Selby.
Yeah. So.
So she, very, very not nice person. And then, Sam is supposed to be imitating this calm, cool, collected, like, I forgot exactly if he was like an assassin or something. Probably was. Um, you know, but the phone rings, and probably a bad time to have your ringer on.
Oh yeah.
Ringer off, Sam. This is a movie theater. Actually, no, it's not. So they are seconds away from getting killed, and then they get bailed out by a sniper. So, and do we know who sniped the
Yeah.
people? It was
Yeah.
Sharon, right?
Yeah. Sharon.
Okay, good. Because you meet up with her later. I'm like, was that her? I was like, I never got clarity. Or at least I don't remember getting clarity because
Yeah.
ADHD.
It was pretty clear. It was Sharon.
Yeah. Okay. Nice shot, Sharon. Nice shot. So this whole Madripoor sequence is pretty cool, especially like Bucky losing his cool and Zemo manipulating him. Very, very cool callback to Civil War. And we got to get into this, man. Zemo, my guy, is just the star of the show. Daniel Brühl is just, it's so good, man. The scene on the airplane where they're talking about Marvin Gaye.
Yeah. Oh my
Marvin
God,
Gaye. Everyone, he comes over and he says, it's complete, comprehensive, totally encapsulated. It's like I'm like, don't finish that sentence. Don't finish that sentence. And then Sam goes, he's out of pocket for that, but he's right.
it's
And
literally like a whole buddy cop dynamic the whole way, and you have Zemo into the fold now, and it's just so funny.
like Zemo really adds something.
He
Zemo's.
does.
I thought Zemo. I hate to skip forward to the end. I thought Zemo was gonna like turn on them.
Me too at first.
But,
I'm happy he didn't.
Well,
That's
he was,
more interesting this way.
it was like, oh shit. You can tell he has his own kind of motives, but
Oh,
like
of course he does.
at the same time, he's helping them out because he needs them too. So,
Yeah.
it's a very cool relationship. So, they kill Selby. Well, they don't kill. Sharon kills Selby, and should have had the ringer off. Yeah, they get out of it alive. The funny thing is that they were going to trade. The trade proposal is trading Bucky for the information. I think they could have used Bucky. I don't think that was a fair trade. But whatever. Wilson's identity, and they have a bounty on them now, which is cool. It's kind of hilarious how they texted the entire town within minutes, more like within seconds of Selby getting murdered. But I could buy it. Someone heard the gunshot, they go up, they see Selby dead. Give time to send out the text. Bounty.
Yeah.
So now we meet up with Sharon, who is a fugitive. She has not been pardoned by the government as the others have. And you would think that some of the Avengers would say, hey, remember that cute blonde lady that Steve made out with that turned out to be his granddaughter? We should probably bail her out. Nah. What do you mean, nah? What do you mean, nah? Nah. We're just not going to do that. Nah. No. So, whatever. Sharon is now a fugitive. She's been kicking ass in Madripoor because she can't get extradited. So like the government can't just come in there, take her away. It's like a safe haven. So
dude, the entire scene on the boat, she was freaking kicking ass, dude. She was so fucking badass. It was such an awesome sequence the whole way, and it was pretty brutal, dude. Just freaking throwing knives at people.
She was murdering dudes, man.
Heads, like it was pretty messed up.
you could tell she's been through some shit. That was just like, oh my god. It's like I think she stabbed the guy in like the chest, if I
She
remember.
did.
And like there was like I think there was like actual like blood. I'm like, is this Marvel? We're showing blood now. Cool. All right, but yes, she was a badass, and there was a really great conversation in there about why where she's been, how she really is like give up, like just go, like she has no interest in being like a hero anymore. She feels screwed over by her government as well, which
Yeah,
is
that's the whole thing about the show. Everyone there does pretty much.
yeah, we're all getting screwed. So yada yada yada. Sharon is a fugitive. It's not ideal. It's not what you want, in the words of Joe Girardi. And yeah, they learned that 20 doses they go into that shipping container, and they go to the doctor. I forgot the doctor's name. His name is Nagel, actually, and they learn that 20 doses 20 doses exist of the super soldier serum. And Zemo kills him, right? They get
Yep.
ambushed, I believe, if I remember. Yeah, they get ambushed. And that leads to this great action sequence. And you think at that point, after Zemo killed Nagel, put the mask on, like, oh shit, he turned on him. This is like all part of his plan. No, he goes full on like Punisher and just kills everyone and bails Bucky and Sam out. It's like, oh, and Sharon too. And it's like, oh, okay, this is cool. And Daniel Brühl is really the standout of this episode, especially like there are just like some moments in there just where he's in the club dancing. And it's like if you told me that one day after Civil War, you tell me that the moment I walk out of Civil War, then in a few years you'll be seeing that character dancing in a club with Bucky and Sam, I would really have questions.
Yeah.
And context-wise, it's fantastic.
Oh,
great outfit too. Great outfit.
Yeah.
The turtleneck.
Dude, I got some Spider-Man 3 Toby vibes there.
Yes. That's tremendous. That is tremendous. I love that so much. It's just every line, and when he pulls up in the car, and he finds the car, he pulls up in the car, and he's just like, "What's up?" It's just like, it's like this dude's like the MVP of this episode. Like every scene that Zemo is in is just elevated by Zemo being in it. It's just like, this is the best, man. This is great. And so, Zemo pulls up in the getaway vehicle. They get away, and then we get the callback to Civil War where Sam wants Bucky to move a seat up. He doesn't do it. And and they drive off, zoom, and Carter stays behind, obviously, because she can't leave or else she'd get arrested. And Sam says, "Don't worry, I'm coming back. I'm gonna get you a pardon." And let's hope that she gets a pardon, because she doesn't deserve to be in Madripoor. It's kind of a shithole, let's be honest. So yes, they're gonna get a pardon for her once they're done with this whole shit. And then John Walker, he wasn't in it much or pretty much at all in this episode.
And that's because it sounds like from what we've heard that the next episode is very John Walker centric. So that's good. That's what I want. I want to see more of him, and I think that by the time we get through next episode, most of the characters in this show will have a very clear and fulfilling arc that they're gonna be focusing on for the final two. So I'm very excited to see how they set that up, because I think those last two episodes are gonna be crazy, man. Like very crazy. And it sounds like, I don't know who, but I don't want to play this game again, but it sounds like we're getting a pretty interesting cameo in episode 5.
Interesting. Barnes and Wilson. Yes. Walker and Hoskins arrive in Berlin and deduce that Barnes and Wilson helped Baron Zemo escape. Well, technically only half of that is true. Sam did not help. Sam
Mm.
just went along with it. So, yeah, but yeah, uh, Flag Smashers raid a storage facility in Lithuania for
Mhm.
supplies. They start stealing some supplies. They blew up the building too,
Yeah,
which is very interesting. I was like, oh shit, they
that was
are.
that's pretty dark.
The Robin Hood shit is cool. Just don't blow them up, please.
Even the other flag smasher was like, what are you doing? There were people in there, and she's like, well, you gotta send. It's the only way people are gonna listen.
Mm. Zemo, Barnes, and Wilson travel to Latvia, not Latveria, which is the home of Doctor Doom. Latvia is actually a real place, and Kristaps Porzingis is from Latvia.
Wow.
So it's a real place. It's not Latveria. I initially I was like I saw Lat. I'm like, nope, Latvia. I'm like shit. But yes, this is where our episode ends. Barnes recognizes Wakandan tracking devices in the street and confronts Ao, who demands Zemo.
Hmm.
Now say that 5 times fast.
I don't think I want to.
Ao, who demands Zemo. Yeah, I can't do that. So yes, we get that. When the score hit as the camera was panning, that's when I knew that a Wakandan was there. I was like, okay, and you can see why a Wakandan would come, because Zemo killed T'Chaka.
Yeah.
So it makes sense. So I was like, yeah, they probably are like, yo, what the fuck are you doing with this guy? Why did you break him out of maximum security prison? Needed his help. All right. See you guys later. Going back to Wakanda. All right. And yeah. All right.
Um.
How did you
So
feel
what?
about? Yeah. Yes.
Yeah.
How did you feel about all of this information?
I think overall, I'm pretty close between episode 2 and 3. Honestly, I love them both a lot for very different reasons. Because like in episode 2, I really enjoyed the John Walker stuff a lot, and that's what really made that episode for me. Along
Correct.
with and then plus you had the Isaiah Bradley stuff, which was so great. I mean, they really nailed everything I needed, and this episode was a bit different, but not in a bad way at all. I mean, Madripoor was awesome, and the Zemo stuff was flawless. I mean, I wouldn't have done it any differently. So, and again, Sharon Carter, really great addition to the show. I love her role, and I'm excited to see a lot more of her in the future. So, I think both of these are like clear 9 out of 10s. Honestly, they're like in that range, if not even higher for one of them. I love them both that much. So right now this show is doing everything I need it to do, and please just don't pull a WandaVision and let everything fall apart at the end. Just keep it going strong. Keep it going strong.
I have a fun game.
Okay.
What is your favorite Zemo moment from episode 3?
Ooh. Um. I kind of do like the Marvin Gaye one. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah, that's gotta be mine
That
too.
was
Or
really
the
that was
dancing.
really Or the dancing one was good too. You see, when we talk about best Zemo moments, you'd think we'd be talking about him killing some people and being a badass, but no, we're talking about him making jokes
I
and
mean, that was
dancing.
pretty dope too. But I mean,
Oh
you just
yeah,
see a different side to Zemo, and this is like, oh my god, it's just like, yeah. Because I think you could kind of forget that Zemo is very much just a regular dude who just broke. I guess you could say he's not really a regular dude. He's royalty and shit, but like you get what I'm saying. He's more of like he's a bad guy. Don't get me wrong. He did some bad shit, but he's not a bad guy for the sake of being bad. If that makes sense. Like he is capable of doing decent things. He is capable of being a help instead of a hindrance. So,
uh-huh.
yeah, I love these episodes too. Is there anything else you have to say?
No, I think it sums it up. I'm really into both of those, and I'm very excited to see what they do next. They have a lot they can explore with John Walker, like I said, and really in general, I'm just very interested to see what they do with Zemo and the Flag Smashers, and really how it all comes together, because it seems like next episode it might really all come together in the sense that the Flag Smashers are going to be where Zemo and Falcon are, and then John Walker's going to come in looking for them himself. So I think we might be setting up for a very big episode, and maybe not even next one. It could be episode 5, but at the very least, episode 4 will really set that all up in a very exciting way. So we're getting there. We are getting to the big moments, and we are already halfway through this whole show, which is nuts.
I agree. This is episode 4 is going to be great. And yeah, that's all I really have to say. I love these 2 episodes, and I'm ready for episode 4 on Friday. And just very, very excited. So
Yeah, this has been
45 minutes. We did a good job.
Well, until next time, this has been another wonderful episode of Cape Time. See everybody.
Peace.